Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Is it me, Teacher Sam? Today, we're talking about the shadowing technique, one of the best ways to boost your fluency. I'm going to show you 9 common mistakes people make and how to avoid them. Shadowing can be powerful, but mistakes can hinder your progress. It's not just about repeating. It requires active listening and attention to detail. We'll explore how to overcome these mistakes in this video. So let's dive into the 9 mistakes you need to avoid. Let's get started. Now, I know you're eager to sound like a natural English speaker and you want to get there fast, right? But one of the first biggest mistakes many learners make is trying to shadow at lightning speed. Imagine trying to run a marathon without any training. Start with slower, clearer audio clips. Don't be afraid to slow down the audio if you need to. Gradually increase the speed as you get more comfortable. Here's a little secret. Shadowing isn't just about mimicking sounds like a parrot. It's about truly understanding the music of the language. The second biggest mistake I see many English learners make is focusing so much on getting the words out that they forget to really listen. They miss the subtle nuances, the intonation, the way a speaker emphasizes certain words to convey meaning. You need to be fully present, fully engaged. These are the secrets to sounding natural and fluent. The third mistake to avoid is trying to shadow for too long. Let's be honest, shadowing can be mentally tiring even when you're doing it right. It's like giving your brain a workout at the gym. And just like you wouldn't spend hours lifting weights without a break, you shouldn't try to shadow for extended periods without giving your mind a rest. When your brain gets tired, it stops absorbing information effectively. Instead of marathon shadowing sessions, try shorter, more focused bursts. Start with 5 to 10 minutes at a time, then take a break, move around, give your mind a chance to reset. You'll be surprised how much more you retain when you work in shorter, more concentrated intervals. Quality over quantity always wins. Another mistake is when you are not using authentic material. I know textbooks and language learning apps have their place, but when it comes to shadowing, you want to learn from the real deal. Think about it. Do you want to sound like a robot reading from a script? Or do you want to sound like a real person having a real conversation? While scripted dialogues can be helpful for building basic vocabulary and grammar, they won't teach you the natural rhythms and flow of everyday English. Instead, dive into the world of authentic materials. Podcasts are your new best friend. Listen to interviews, watch TV shows or movies, pay attention to how native speakers actually talk in their natural environment. You're getting a front row seat to how English is used in the real world. The fifth mistake is ignoring pronunciation details. Here's the thing about English pronunciation. It can be tricky. We have so many sounds that don't exist in other languages, and even native speakers sometimes stumble over certain words. But here's where many learners go wrong. They get so caught up in keeping up with the speaker that they start glossing over important pronunciation details. It's like trying to bake a cake, but forgetting to add the sugar. If you're not paying attention to the individual sounds, the intonation, the stress on certain syllables, your English will always sound a little off. Don't be afraid to slow down and really dissect those tricky words. Practice those sounds in isolation until you can say them clearly and confidently. Then, gradually increase the speed as you become more comfortable. Even small pronunciation errors can make a big difference in how well you're understood. The sixth mistake to avoid is shadowing only one type of speaker. The English language is a vibrant tapestry of accents, dialects, and speaking styles. Think about it. A British comedian will sound very different from an American news anchor, right? And that's the beauty of it. But here's where some learners miss out. They get stuck in a rut, shadowing the same type of speaker over and over again. If you only ever listen to one type of speaker, you're limiting your exposure to the full range of English pronunciation and intonation. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. Find speakers from different regions, different backgrounds, different professions. The more you expose yourself to different accents and speaking styles, the more adaptable you'll become in real-life conversations. You'll be able to understand and be understood by a wider range of people. Now, let's look at mistake number 7. not mimicking the speaker's emotion. Let's be honest, sometimes when we're learning a new language, we can sound a bit like robots. We're so focused on getting the words and grammar right that we forget that language is about so much more than just conveying information. It's about expressing emotions, sharing stories, connecting with others on a human level. One of the biggest mistakes I see learners making when shadowing is neglecting the emotional aspect of speech. They might be saying the right words, but their tone is flat, their delivery is monotone, and they miss the opportunity to truly embody the language. The way you say something can be just as important as what you say. So, when you're shadowing, pay attention to the speaker's emotion. Try to match their energy and tone. It will make your English sound more natural, more engaging, and ultimately, more human. The eighth mistake is when you are not reviewing your progress. Have you ever spent hours studying for an exam, only to walk out feeling like you barely learned anything? It's a frustrating feeling, right? And it often happens when we don't take the time to review and reflect on our progress. Many learners make the mistake of just going through the motions, shadowing session after shadowing session, without ever stopping to assess how far they've come or identify areas where they're still struggling. Make it a habit to record yourself shadowing regularly. Then, listen back to those recordings with a critical ear. Pay attention to your pronunciation, your intonation, your fluency. They're a way to track your progress over time and celebrate how far you've come. You'll be amazed at how much you improve just by listening back to your own voice and identifying areas for growth. The last from the list of mistakes is not setting clear goals for your shadowing practice. Imagine setting out on a journey without a map or a destination in mind. That's what it's like to approach shadowing without clear goals. Many learners make the mistake of thinking that simply doing the activity is enough. But the truth is, to truly benefit from shadowing, you need to define what you want to achieve. Do you want to improve your pronunciation of specific sounds, expand your vocabulary, enhance your comprehension? Setting clear goals gives your practice direction and purpose, making it far more effective. Tailor your shadowing practice to meet those specific needs. So there you have it, the 9 common mistakes to avoid when using the shadowing technique. Shadowing is an incredible way to improve your English, but like any technique, it's important to practice the right way. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Start slow, listen carefully, and mix things up with different speakers and materials. Most importantly, make sure you're practicing with purpose. Define your goals, track your progress, and don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. If you found this video helpful, make sure to check out my other videos on language learning strategies and share your thoughts in the comments below.